Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, I'm Alex. This is the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight from New York, New York. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. That is Chuck Farnham, who normally has a full set of teeth, but you're missing one right now. What happened with that one? You look like a very extreme David Letterman.
It's like COVID. During COVID, I had COVID, and then the tooth fell out.
Okay.
And I looked at getting the tooth replaced, and I don't know. I couldn't get straight answers, and they were just kind of being weird to me, and so I let it ride for a bit. And
they said you're the kind of person, because of your weight, that looks good toothless. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they got the long hair.
You can go get the implants.
Right.
You know.
But I know 2 people who've had their implants fall out.
Really? I have 3 implants, and they're all fine.
Yeah, I know. Matter of fact, I have a friend whose implant fell out last week. Another one. It's like, do these things really work? Do they not work?
It might have been a bad.
How much of a problem is it?
I've had implants. I have 3 implants in my mouth, and all 3 of them are fine. Yeah, I've never had a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. So, you know, almost, you know, when a majority of your friends know how it happened, people don't ask, how'd you lose your tooth anymore? Yeah. So nobody cared.
Well, how'd you get the black eye?
It's not actually black. It is black, but it's those circles that you get under your eyes when you get older.
Yeah.
I have one. After I got eye surgery, I started getting this would happen.
What eye surgery?
I got contact or implants.
Well, you're talking about the where they put the new lens in there.
Yeah. They took the old lens out, put the new lens in. Which, by the way,
both my eyes were done.
It's awesome. That's the greatest thing I ever. Man, they shoot laser in your eye.
Oh, a laser. I did the corneal transplant. They removed the cornea and put in a new lens.
Yeah, they ripped out my lenses. They burned the lens out, and then they slide a new lens in with these lasers.
Oh, really?
It was awesome.
Oh,
and it takes like maybe a minute. It was quick.
Wow. Okay.
And now I don't need glasses to drive or anything, but I need them to read. So. I can see you.
Let me ask you a question here, and this is something we haven't talked about, I think, since whenever it happened. At one point, there was somebody, and I think it was our music director, who wanted to get rid of me. And so he prevailed upon you to throw the show. Do you remember that?
No. How can I throw something I barely understood?
Well, no, but I mean,
what are you going to tell me to do?
This was a guy who decided he didn't like me being on the air there. He didn't like what I was doing because it wasn't music, okay? And that he went.
No, it definitely wasn't music.
Yeah, and he went to you and asked you to kind of do things that would throw the show, that would make it have problems.
I don't remember any of that. I remember
it. Yeah.
Would somebody say something to you about it?
I
don't even know how I would throw the show.
I think I actually heard about it from you. Because you came to me and you said.
I would have, if somebody would have asked me to do that, A, I would have said no. B, I would have told you because.
Well, I think that's exactly what you did. You told me.
Yeah, I don't remember that happening.
But he didn't have to work. He didn't have to work very hard because I
don't know how would we throw the show.
Yeah,
I mean, we're already doing enough stuff to get the cops there about once a month. So
yeah, you know, I just don't understand why they took that show off, because really, people to this day talk about that show. You know,
all the time.
It was such from the stuff we've been describing with Chuck in the past and the stunts he did. It was very special. You know?
I was at a train museum in Carson City about a month ago, and these people from San Francisco came up, and I said, "Oh yeah, I did some radio stuff in San Francisco." And he goes, "I go, what radio station you listen to?" And he goes, "Oh, every morning on the way to school, Alex Bennett." And I said, "Oh," and he goes, "That guy was great." You know, it was like I couldn't imagine what was going to happen. It was like this big mystery, and I loved it.
It may be, of all the things I've done in radio, it was the best thing I've ever done.
I still get people coming
and I've
up to
done
me.
stuff in New York, you know, and I was very famous in New York at one point. Famous more for getting fired than anything else, but I was famous in New York. But of all my career, that show at Live 105 was the best thing I've ever done. And you know something? I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. I just did it.
Look at me.
You know?
I just showed up, and
I just showed up.
I had no idea. I thought the promotions director didn't like us.
Really?
Because, well, yeah, and I didn't know why. And
well, the music director didn't like us either because I wasn't doing music. You know?
Yeah, but when you were selling ads.
Well, you know, the thing with me, you know, it's kind of like people invite a Jew over to dinner and then they serve pork to see if he'll eat it, right? The job with Alex Bennett, the performer, was to see if you could get him to play any music. And they at times would say to me, "You got to play 3 records an hour," you know, and I'd go, "It's ridiculous." I do remember.
That entire room was on antidepressants of one kind or another.
Yeah, well, the thing was that I said one morning I went on the air, and I said the station's complaining I don't play enough music, so for the next hour I'm going to play nothing but music, but it's the shortest songs I can find. And we went into the library and we got every short song. I mean, there were songs that were like a minute and 10, you know.
Sure.
And so we played nothing but these.
Anything by the Ramones would work.
Short records for the whole hour. Okay, no guests, nothing, just music for a solid hour. And then I said in the last hour we played 29 records. Okay? And I said, let any other radio station beat that, and this is Alex Bennett, your More Music morning show.
There you go.
Yeah. And after that, they never came after me. Oh, I remember what it was over at the Quake. They were trying to, you know, they were being real pissy. This is when a new ownership took over, and they said, "We want you to play so many records an hour." And I said, "You know, it's in my contract. I have control over this, but you want music, I'll give you music." And what I did is I worked it out so that everything that went on your left channel on your radio was me, and everything on the right channel was music, and the two were together. And I said, if you only want to hear me, just turn your balance knob, because they had a balance knob on radio in those days, to the right, and if you want to hear the music, turn to the left. They went nuts. They said, "You can't do that, you know, the FCC will hate us for this," and blah 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 blah. And I said, "What? You wanted me to play music. I found a way of playing music and still doing my show."
Right. We were having a good time.
God, I was inventive back in the day.
Yeah, we did things many we should not have.
We did things.
The place at the other radio station you mentioned, that's where the place that had the little itty bitty studio audience.
The Quake, it was smaller. It was
yeah. That's where I fell asleep.
Really? Oh, okay.
I was right next to you. I remember I was leaning on the desk at one point, and I'm like,
I think we lasted at the Quake for 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. And then the station was bought, and they tried to get rid of me, but they couldn't get rid of me. And eventually, they paid me not to come into work. And eventually, Live 105 came along, and Ed Cramp, who was the general manager of Live 105, came up with this idea they do in football or in trades and whatever, that we'll pay half his salary until he meets the what do you call it, the same ratings, the same ratings he had as his last ratings with you. And they were pretty good. They were high. You know, they were up around 4 or 5, something like that. And they said, no, we just want want you to pay 60%, and we'll take 40%, and we don't want that deal of once he hits the same number that he got here, that we're no longer culpable. So they didn't take the deal, right? They just took the split. Well, it turns out the first rating that came out, I got those numbers. And they had to keep paying me for the rest of that period of time that my contract was still in force. So I was actually getting paid by 2 radio stations.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, there was college.
What?
There was college dormitories that had like shrines up to the show.
Really?
Like, they liked it.
Well,
I mean, we didn't know what we were doing, but they liked it.
You know, I never perceived that it was as popular as you're saying it was. You know?
Yeah, I didn't until I'd be out on the street somewhere and somebody would hear, and it happens to this day. I'm out on the street somewhere, somebody hears me talking and goes, "Hey, were you in radio?" And I'll go, "Where are you from?" And they go, "In the 90s, I lived in San Francisco," and boom, every time.
Yeah, I mean, we were very popular, especially among a certain group, you know, but I never realized how popular the show was. I mean, it's strange when you're working it, you don't have that concept. You just go in there and do it.
No, you're living in a vacuum. It's a vacuum, and then you leave for the day. And in one case, I remember going to ceremony after a show, and I went to use my credit card at this kiosk. It was in the middle, and the woman goes, "Hey, you guys were good this morning." And I went, "What?" You know, because you leave that show and you come off a heck of a cliff.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants to take a nap.
Yeah.
And I go, "Oh, this morning?" She goes, "I listen to Alex Bennett." I go, "Oh, thank you. You know, I appreciate it." And it was like, I had no idea.
Yeah, I never had an idea of how popular we were. You know, I
remember walking into restaurants and people would go, you'd hear them whispering, "Oh, there's Alex."
Yeah. After a while, it was something that I guess I took for granted. But you know, when I went in there every morning, I'm the laziest broadcaster in history. You know, I just went in there and I didn't know what I was going to do, and I just let the show evolve naturally.
Sometimes there were home runs, and sometimes
when it went in a certain direction that I knew was good, I played it to the hilt. You know,
right?
But I didn't go in the morning and say, "This morning I think we'll do blah blah blah," and then we'll do this other little bit that we do. I didn't do any of that. You know, I went in there and I sat down in that chair and I started talking. When I was through talking, it was 10 o'clock. You know,
or it would start with, "Hey, so what did you guys do last night?"
Yeah.
You know, when I would start rambling about something, or where we ate, or something we saw on the street, or whatever it was, or and it just worked.
Yeah.
Comedians added to that whole thing.
Yeah. So I mean, and then the comics, of course. You know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'd have 5 comics in there at a time. I don't even know how people could listen to that program. There was just so much going on. And they were going at breakneck speed, and many times they were all trying to top each other, you know. And you get somebody who's a real ad-lib artist like a Warren Thomas or a Stephen Pearl, and it's just Riff City, you know. And and I keep going to myself, would anybody listen to this? Well, apparently they were, you know. They kept up with the insanity of it all. And then there was the biggest morning we ever had there was the morning with Jackie.
Last week we lost Scott Caparo's dad passed away.
Oh, did he?
Real sick.
Oh.
Yeah, and I talk to Scott all the time.
Really?
He's a great guy.
Give him my best. He's still doing.
Yeah.
He's still doing.
And that was a sad one for us.
He's still doing.
And he was a regular.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
It skips occasionally.
Oh, okay. Did he?
Just the audio.
Yeah, but you're fine, and I'm fine on this end. Is he still in comedy?
Yeah, all over the place. He does a lot of stuff in Europe.
Good.
Does a lot of stuff in the Bay Area. He bounces back and forth. His husband's Brazilian, I think.
Yeah, well, a lot of people used to say to me, Alex, you don't have any. Trouble is, you don't have any gay comics on. And I go, I have a lot of gay comics on. It's just they don't say they're gay. I said,
Right.
And it's not my job to make them say they are.
Scott Silverman, Caporo.
The guy who won the San Francisco comedy competition was gay. And he didn't tell anybody he was gay. And it wasn't my job to say, hey, do something gay.
No.
Caporo did say he was gay. He was one of those comedians.
Caporo was a statue of gay.
Yeah.
That guy, wow. Good times.
If you look up gay in the dictionary, there's a picture of Scott Caporo. That's the old joke.
There is a picture of Scott Caporo on multiple pages, strangely enough, depending on the topic. But yeah, Scott's a winner.
Yeah. So you
Mr.
went.
Silverman, same thing.
You went to San Francisco. You said last week.
I did. I spent a week in San Francisco. I've been in. I guess I don't really use the term on myself. I've been a deadhead for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
Many years, decades.
Yeah.
And so Dead and Company with John Mayer was doing the last shows. They're going to break the corporation up. And so they did this tour, and then they're going to do 3 nights in San Francisco. So I got tickets, went with, I drug Curtis DiMartini with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need somebody to push me around. I can't walk that far.
Yeah.
And they seats to accommodate my nightmares. And so Curtis and I were living in the city, going to Dead shows every day down at the Giants Oracle Arena or Oracle Stadium, whatever they're calling it. And they must have been 100 hot dog vendors out front of the place selling $10 hot dogs. They all look exactly like they're being human trafficked.
Really?
I couldn't believe it. They had to have been human trafficked. I saw the guy watching them. And I was all over the city for a week, right? I saw one homeless tent, and the streets were clean as can be, and no hookers, no drugs, no nothing. Except, of course, at the show where they had booths set up selling, everything.
Yeah. But I've been told by Bubs that town is terrible right now. So I'm surprised you didn't see an encampment. Now you may not.
There's nothing around Bubs' house that's a problem.
No, he said he did have a homeless person sleeping in his doorway last week.
Right. No,
but they say if you go up and down Van Ness Avenue, there are tents on Van Ness Avenue.
Not anymore. No, it was empty.
Really?
I went up Van Ness many, many times, and last time I was there, it was tent city.
Because San Francisco is my hometown. Okay, I was born and raised there, and so it holds a great deal of romance to me. I love that place, and I feel bad I haven't been back there in a long time. And Bub says, don't come here. You're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, it was this time I was saying as I left, everybody's going, I'm sorry you're going, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested in climbing over tents. And I pulled into town and I'm driving up Van Ness and there were no tents. And I'm like, where did everybody go? And the streets are clean.
Well, what did they say? Did anybody answer that one for you?
Apparently the mayor brought in the highway patrol and moved people someplace.
Yeah, but apparently the tents are somewhere else.
I don't know. I was all over town. They're not in any place where you would see them where they were before. They weren't like on Market Street. They weren't over there by where all the drugs were.
It's kind of like a balloon. You push one side of it, it's going to come out on the other side. The fact is that you move people let's say you get the highway patrol in and you move them. Well, they're going to go somewhere. It's just they're not there anymore. You know, so the problem isn't solved.
I could not find them.
Yeah.
I was looking.
Wow.
I don't know where they went, but they've gone somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there are more people in Sparks.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention to you, because you mentioned David Biedny was a guy that we knew, right? That we know, or you know still. I haven't talked to him in years.
I certainly think you know him to some degree.
Yes. Yeah, but...
God, I'm missing it.
No, but you and I... you and I... and Biedny did something. We started a website. And when we started a website, how many websites do you figure there were in the world?
Probably less than 100.
Couple of hundred. That was it.
And most of those would have been government, I think.
Yeah. People don't believe me when I say we did one of the first websites. You know? And we did.
Yeah. We certainly did.
Yeah.
With Jesse Montrose.
Montrose, yes. And it was called what do you call it? The Surfing Monkey. Surfing Monkey, which is still a great name for a website.
No, I still have a Surfing Monkey at home.
And what happened was, how we named it was, you went down to Tijuana, and down there they sell these monkeys on a surfboard.
Right next to the women who were breastfeeding.
Yes.
Little old ladies who breastfeed at the border, they have monkeys for sale.
Yeah, but it's a monkey on a surfboard, wearing kind of a one-piece bathing suit, right?
Yeah.
With stripes on it. And when we were trying to come up with a name for our website, I looked over at mine, the one you brought me, and I said, how about the Surfing Monkey? And I think we all agreed that was a great name. You know? That
was the one.
Yeah. And so we had that site up for a couple of years, you know. And it was
long enough that you can still look up pieces of it, and the art and stuff still shows up.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I have to try that. Yeah. But it was you know, those kind of things. You turned me on to websites, you know, because up until then, I mean, there really weren't many. And they were very narrow, and you couldn't find what people take for granted today. We were at the library looking up back then. Yeah, and that's where we had Dead Man Talking, which was a column by a guy on death row, and I can't remember.
Still alive?
Huh?
Still alive.
Still alive after all these years. Well, I mean, there's no death penalty anymore in California, so you know. Yeah,
he's fine.
Have you talked to him lately? I haven't talked to Dean in a while. Yeah? No.
I think I got over that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because you at one point we should probably get into this next time we talk to you, but your relationship to serial killers was very good.
It got out of hand.
Let's see, which ones did you know? Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, our guy Dean. Who else?
Dean. Let's see. Charles Ng, Richard Ramirez, Manson.
Did you know Manson?
Yeah.
You knew Manson?
You need some of his hair?
Huh?
I have some of it. He sent me a bunch of his hair.
Oh boy.
And who was the guy in New York? Son of Sam? Berkowitz?
Yeah.
Dave and I, we were chatting away. I got Christmas cards from Manuel Noriega one year. He was incarcerated.
Was this while he was incarcerated?
Oh yeah, no, he was incarcerated when I got him. Yeah. When I wrote to him, and none of this typing crap. You write these letters out, Dear General Noriega, and then you put 4 little stars after his name, so he knew that I was on his team.
Oh boy!
You know, he'd write back, sends a Christmas card right away. Yeah, all those guys, Sirhan. They were a big name. That lady that cut off her boyfriend's girlfriend's head and put it in a refrigerator, and then she would dress it up.
Okay.
So he could have.
All right. I think we're running out of time.
Yeah, enough of that. Huh? We can talk about all of them.
This is why.
there are a lot.
This is why Chuck's one of the most interesting human beings on the planet without a front tooth.
Probably.
You know, there are more interesting people on the planet with a full set of front teeth, but not
with a full set of teeth. Yeah. I would hope so.
Anyway, it's great talking to you again.
I don't think I'm going to get it replaced. I think it's the new me.
Yeah, I've missed this. I'm glad we are talking again.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a guy who will appear here again. His name is Chuck Farnham. Stay where you are, Chuck, so I can talk to you after this is all over. And
Ciao,
we
kids.
say goodbye. Bye-bye.
Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
And that's Chuck Farnham, folks. Chuck Farnham. If you were a fan of my radio show in San Francisco, you know who that guy is. Okay, alrighty. So let me just get my mic up here. I got to do a few things here to get things done. And you know, nobody's calling the program right now. Nobody. Zero. Zilch. Oh boy. Well, you know. Well, in that case, I guess I'll just call it quits. Yeah. Why not? Every good reason to call it quits. If nobody's calling, then there's no reason to do a show. So let me see here. I guess I'll just. Oh well, here comes somebody. Here comes. God damn it, Brian. Jeez Almighty, Brian. Brian Neary calls and then prevents me from having to call this thing short. You know. Anyway, how are you, Brian?
Wow, I feel so special tonight.
Well, yeah, you're it. You're all I got.
I do have a good Scott Caporo story. Scott, he must have been on one of your shows. I think it was a night thing though. But I saw him perform, and I can still picture it. But he would take that microphone with the foam, the foam microphone.
Yeah. And
he would stick his mouth over the whole thing.
Oh boy. Okay.
It was so funny. He would say some kind of setup to joke, about being gay or something, and then he'd say, "Yeah, but can you do this?" And he took that microphone and put the whole thing over it.
Yeah. Well, Capurro, let me see here. I haven't seen him or heard from him in years. But there was a time there where people were saying to me, you don't have any gay comics on your show. And I made every attempt to find gay comics. But I did have gay comics on my show, but they didn't want to come out of the closet. So they didn't want to, be known as, as gay. So we just never did it. Like Jim Samuels, who won the San Francisco Comedy Competition, did my show on many an occasion, was gay. So Scott was, I think, just about the first one that came out and was gay and just said, "I'm gay. I'm a gay comic." Now, I don't know how a gay comic differs from anybody else, because the only object in comedy is to make people laugh. And if they're not laughing, you're not a comic. I don't care, gay or otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. He was really good. Probably still
But he
is.
was good. He was good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you another one who I thought was really terrific was Sabrina Matthews.
Yeah.
And I don't know where she is now, but boy, I thought she was a real talent. I wasn't doing these people any favors. Like, for instance, Jim Samuels, I didn't have on that often, because he was a funny comic on stage, but when it came to doing the radio program, he wasn't very good at it. Mm-hmm. And there is a difference there. There were people who worked well on the show, but didn't work well on stage, and there were people who worked well on stage but didn't work well on the show. So I didn't have him on that often. But I wasn't about ready to suddenly put him on because he was gay.
Right. Yeah. Just to hit the quota. I think that's an issue with. I don't want to say too much, but there's an issue with a lot of the diversity and inclusion projects at companies that I've seen that require certain amount of interviews and all this stuff just to make sure that they're saying that stuff. But then sometimes they already know who they're going to hire. Just to hit
I think nothing could be more homophobic than interviewing somebody for a job because he is gay.
Yeah.
I mean, don't do the gays any favors by doing that, you know.
Well, it's usually not gay, but it's usually other ethnic groups or something. But yeah, the other thing you mentioned was some. I've heard some recordings of the show back, and yeah, there are times that there's so many people on there, and they're like riffing, and then when they're coming back from commercials. When you're coming back from commercials, guys would be on a riff, and all the comics would be laughing within themselves sometimes, and then for us as listeners, like we're trying to get what was going on because it sounded so funny, and then you could hear people just laughing. But some of the recordings I've heard, man, I don't know how everybody was able to talk over each other, especially when you had people.
Well, they just did.
Yeah.
That was a problem I ran into sometimes. But you know something? I found that really wasn't a drawback if there was just too many people talking at the same time and it was noisy. I think that helped get me an audience. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, yeah.
In those days, you go down the dial, right? You'd be turning the dial. Push buttons came in, it ruined radio because you put something on your push button and then a news station comes along and you would never find it because you didn't do that whole thing of tuning it down the dial.
Right.
But in the old days when they tuned up and down the dial, I found the more noise that was going on, the higher the ratings. Because people would be going by and all of a sudden they'd go by your station and they hear and they'd stop to hear what the hell this was. So that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I often found that this whole thing of making a big deal about quotas and all of that, I mean, I just think there's something racist and homophobic about that, because if you've got to tell somebody that you've got to hire a certain amount of people because you got to have blacks or gays, that's not doing anybody any favors.
Yeah, and I think if you're a smart manager, when you interview somebody and they have a different background, not saying gay, but like ethnic background, they grew up differently, they went to school differently, maybe out of the country. Sometimes you want that mix in your group to get different opinions or different views of things going on, especially with problems and stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
So if you're smart, you hire that so you have that mixed group, and that's going to give you an advantage. But nothing that they should say, well, you should interview at least 3 people like this and then, 2 people like this. That's where I don't really agree with that.
Well, you see, I felt there was a time when we did this, and it was warranted, simply because there were certain people who didn't have the opportunity to get the experience to be a good person to interview, just simply because they didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? So that you, in order to start evening that out, you had to go out of your way to hire some so they would get the experience and they would be, have the history. But I think to hire them just because is not right. You're not doing them any favors. If you're hiring somebody because they're black or they're gay or they're whatever, and they can't do the job, you're not doing them any favors.
Exactly, or your company.
Yeah,
right?
or your company, but forget the company. Think about those people. I don't know, if I were gay or black or whatever, I wouldn't want to feel that I was hired simply because I was black or gay. And if I was black and gay, boy, what a that's the
and a woman.
Well, and a woman, that'd be the trifecta. That'd be the trifecta. hey, we don't have to hire any more people this year. We got them all in one person.
Yeah, but I like. There's somebody I was just talking to today. I went to lunch with, and we are talking about some guy, and he was saying something that he was gay, and I was really surprised. But I listen on the satellite. I hear a lot of comedy stuff, and Paul Mooney always pops up. And I never knew he was gay, but I just thought because of how his comedy was, it didn't touch on that part at all. It was so much about civil rights and all that type of stuff, and that type of rant. That I just love his comedy.
Yeah, and in spite of the fact
that his merit is how good of a comic he was.
Well, the fact the fact that he was gay didn't enter into his act.
Yeah, not at all.
It was more about the fact that he was black. I think he had to pick which one he felt most abused by.
Yeah.
I love Mooney. Mooney did a real solid for me. There were these two creeps called Opie and Anthony, who their only claim to fame is they sent some guy into St. Patrick's Cathedral to have sex in the pews, right? They got into all kinds of trouble, and I think they got fired or something. And eventually they wound up over at Sirius. And for some reason, I think it was Anthony more than Opie that didn't like me, because I kidded about them once, that's what I do and that's what they do and so on. They could dish it out, they just couldn't take it. All right. So now Mooney is doing a show with them, and somehow, I don't know, my name came up or something, and they started dissing me and doing a whole bit about me and how Alex Bennett, he's a old creep, blah, 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 blah. And Mooney said, stop it. And they said, what do you mean? He says, Alex Bennett is doing what you owe your life to Alex Bennett. You wouldn't be sitting in those chairs right now if it wasn't for Alex Bennett, if he hadn't led the way years ago. And you should be ashamed of yourself for doing this. And don't say that about Alex. And I think he got up and walked out.
Wow.
And they came over to do my show and told me what had gone on. And I just appreciated that no end. Because, when you're a guest on somebody else's show, you don't want to, you're there to plug stuff and everything, and you don't want to, make a big deal out of it. And so, but damn it, he wouldn't take that from them. He wouldn't let them get away with it. And I always appreciated that, That was a really, really decent thing they did. So anyway, but Paul Mooney was. In fact, when you just mentioned Paul Mooney gay, I had forgotten that he was. Your mic's on, not on. Brian, your mic is not on.
Yeah, I kept coughing.
Oh, I see. I had almost forgotten that Mooney was gay.
Yeah.
Because I remember him more as a racial comic, a guy who would come on and tell some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
He was, I think, maybe one of Richard Pryor's best friends. He wrote for Pryor. He was on Pryor's TV show. Was on Pryor's writing staff on Pryor's TV show. And he was very close to him. Very close to him. And did you ever see the series, the variety series, the weekly series that Pryor did?
No.
You know why? Because it didn't last very long. He got in nothing but one problem after another with the networks. The network was getting all pissy with him. The first episode they did, it opened up with him totally naked, but with no penis.
Like Ken?
And he says, this is what they do to black men when they get a TV show or something like that. That was the thing. And it was pretty good. Yeah. But the network didn't like it. And Robin Williams was on that show as a regular. He was one of the cast members.
Oh, really?
And It was, I think, a very special show because it didn't fall into any category. He did one show in which he did about a 45-minute sketch on the Cotton Club, and it was just nothing but a drama, on this supposed comedy show. And I went, that's brilliant that he would take that chance, but it didn't do very well, because it was too black, it was too everything, it was too critical of society, and on we go. But anyway, so I'm running around tonight looking for my signed lease from 2 years ago, because I think we should probably have it. I have copies of it, but they're PDFs and they're not signed. Okay, so I was looking for it, and I can't find him anywhere in the house, and I'm beginning to think the only person that has a signed copy of it is my lawyer. I'm beginning to think he's the one that kept a copy of it signed. Yeah,
probably.
Probably, because I know that I found an email where he said, "I'm sending you the lease. Sign them and then send them back to me, and then I will get them out to the landlords and whatever." He probably kept it when he got the copy back. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that happened to me. Actually, Tiffany had some papers that she had, and we had to go back to the lawyer after we cursed him out because he was charging us for stupid, really, really stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. And I cursed him out and said I never want to see his face again. I had to call back to him to get a signed copy of something for her. So that was
because he was keeping the signed copy of some kind of agreement.
Exactly what you said. Yeah, there was one signed thing that he received, and he let us know that he received it. And then I said, "Why were all these other charges on here?" And I blasted him a little bit. And then I had to go back to his office to go get the copy of the signed one because I realized that we didn't have a copy of it. That we didn't have.
I'm beginning to think that's what happened with us.
I did that once, and so ever since then, I scan everything I sign.
Well, I scanned it. I scanned it. When I got it, or he sent me a copy of it, PDF of it, that I saw, and then I think that's what I signed. Okay, but I never made a copy of the signed version of it.
I always sign it and then scan it.
Yeah,
right away.
Yeah. Well,
and I name it something that I know I'm going to find it.
I think what it is I signed it and sent it back to him. Then he sent it on to them, and then they sent him a copy back. And he probably put it in his files.
Yeah.
That's what I'm believing. But anyway, so we're getting all kinds of. I had to get 6 months worth of checks that were canceled and sent back. Cash and sent back, all those kind of things, so we can go ahead and get these guys. It's ridiculous. It's just it's so preoccupying my mind. You like to feel. I like to feel for once in the last couple of years that I'm settled in this place. They can put my feet up on the table and say, "Can't get me out of here." And
you thought you were, right?
And look, what?
You thought you were, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, what it is what happens is every 2 years they have to send you a lease renewal, and it's a lease renewal form, and it's called a lease renewal. And it's supposed to be based on the lease you already have. In other words, that's the lease. This is the lease renewal. Well, the lease that I have says $500.07 a month. The one the release renewal they sent me said it's like $22.25.
They're trying to screw with it.
Well, they're trying to screw with it, exactly. But now I have 60 days to get it back to them. Otherwise, they can move to throw me out of here. But
give it to them on the 59th day.
No, I'm not going to give them anything because I can argue they never sent me a lease renewal. They sent me a piece of paper that said lease renewal, but they didn't send me a lease renewal because if you're going to renew my lease, it's for the amount of money on the lease. And that's, so I just knew they would try something.
Are they trying to slip it by you, or they're trying
They
to?
may have felt they could slip it by me, But they're claiming we're still in court. We're still fighting this thing. Well, the fact is that, and even my business manager found an article today on it. New York State, let's say you do a case and you lose it. Now you want to go appeal it, so you go to the appellate court, and the appellate court looks at it and says either we'll rule on this or we're sending it back to your original judge. All right? And if it's by unanimous consent, that's it. Well, they're taking it to the Court of Appeals as opposed to the appellate court to try and get them to, but they can't. The appellate court won't take it because by unanimous consent, the Court of Appeals won't take it because by unanimous consent, the appellate court sent it back to my judge and said, that's okay. We nothing improper here. So that should be it. But but this guy over at the landlords is saying, well, we're still appealing it. Well, you're just making some kind of motions. It's something that's really a waste of your time, because they passed a thing in California, in New York, a while back that says that the appellate court's verdict is the final verdict.
Can they raise your rent after every 2 years?
Yeah, they can do that. In my case, it'd be
like... Is there
a
limit and percentage that they can do it in New York?
If I take a two-year, what do you call it, lease, they can raise it like, I think it's 5%.
Okay. But
every a month.
Instead of that, they're looking for 300%.
No, they're not looking for 300%. No.
Well, 500 and something, 2,200.
No. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get what would have been the lease rate if the judge hadn't said, we're rolling this back to what it was in 2003.
Right.
So, but having to go through that, I have a hard time going to sleep at night because I'm thinking about this thing.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make me very happy, what they're probably figuring is, I don't know if they thought I'd be stupid enough to say, oh, well, I'll sign this. Whoops. No.
You should be able to go to sleep at night knowing that Tony has a place for you if you need to ever rent somewhere.
Right, I know that, yeah. But he's a lousy landlord. But the thing is that they technically have not sent me a lease renewal. It's not a renewal for my lease. It may have my name on it, but it's not a renewal on my lease at all.
All you got to do is keep Tony happy with coffee. He'll let you stay there.
Okay. All right. Good.
Remind me to laugh at that.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
But
I have to say one quick thing is Don Geller. Got to thank Don Geller. Because Pee-wee passed away, and you go on YouTube, and the first thing that popped up was Don Geller's thing that he did like 2 years ago, I think it was, of all segments of Pee-wee Herman on Letterman from the first one.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was pretty cool to see you see him. Paul Rubens as Pee-wee, the first time that he was pretty quiet. He wasn't really doing the act that much. He was still doing it, but not that much. You see the progression that the Letterman show, and then you see him the last one where he's just going crazy as Pee-wee and doing spaz stuff, and it's hysterical. But Don really sets that thing in perspective.
Yeah, Don, if you look at it, all those, like Don did that probably 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He can't do any new ones.
The Letterman people did a nice one. I saw it on Dave's actual.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the Letterman stuff isn't as good as the ones that Don does.
The one I saw with Letterman put up, I actually thought it was really good.
Yeah, but you should see the ones that Geller did. I mean, he does a whole history of Pee-wee Herman on the David Letterman show, not just 1 or 2 appearances.
Okay, yeah. I don't really follow them, so I really wouldn't know. So
yeah, but they initially, I think I don't know what the story is. Geller would have to tell you, and I don't know if he wants to talk about it. But I mean, for years he was the go-to guy for Letterman clips on YouTube, And then all of a sudden, one day, Letterman decided he wanted to make a buck off YouTube, and told Don not to do it. But he did. They did tell him. They did hire him for a while to work for them, getting stuff together. But then somehow there was a falling apart. I don't know what it was. He'd have to tell you, and he probably doesn't want to talk about it. So. But he's on to other things. So he's just. I like Don. I think the world of Don. Don makes me laugh, really laugh, and he doesn't know why. But and he's appeared. He's come on here some nights. In fact, he's probably listening right now and is too shy to call. But Don, if you call, I won't ask you about what happened with Letterman. Okay, so don't feel not that you don't want to call. Okay. Anyway, what else? Oh yeah, Trump today went down, made his monthly court appearance.
I think they're saying that his calendar is so crazy right now that they're having a hard time trying to fit in all these trials. So.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't a matter that you have to fit in the trials to accommodate him. The Republicans have been going around yelling and screaming, oh, they're being unfair to him. He's being treated differently than anybody else would. Yes, he is. If it were anybody else, they would have had to pay a huge bail today, and they would have had their picture taken. Come on.
And they might have been incarcerated.
It might have been incarcerated, yeah. So come on, don't tell me that he isn't being treated like he's being given more of a leeway than anybody. When you say that they're going to have to try and fit the trials around the election, come on, that shouldn't even be a consideration. Yes, Ray.
I heard that it was his choice to show up in person. Like he could have done it via Zoom or something, but he wanted to get the sympathy of his his base.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
More donations.
Yes,
Can
Tony.
I count? Is that what Ray? What is that doll?
That's from the birds.
Oh.
That's him being.
No, I mean behind you.
That's your mom. That's your mom.
Oh, you know you and my mom have in common? She's dead, and so is your acting career.
Yeah, true.
No,
that's a true story. Yeah.
That's what turned around in the chair in the end of Psycho.
Actually, that's what killed her. She must have heard his monologue.
Probably.
Her last words.
I wouldn't blame her.
I heard his monologue. He's not a comedian.
Well, he's not an actor either, I guess.
Why are you being so mean to Ray?
Oh, why does he have my mother up for 2 years?
That's not his.
Because you told me you liked it before. I'll take it
I
off.
never said that. I liked the wallpaper, and didn't say my mother.
Yes, you did say you liked it.
No,
yes,
I didn't.
you did. Yes, you did.
And that's not.
How come, Tony? Why are you being so fucking weird lately?
I'm not mad. I'm just giving you.
You're like out of your mind. Like the other day when you were like talking with
I'm
Bill.
just picking on you like you like to pick on me.
What?
It's a joke.
Whatever, Tony. I don't give a shit.
Anyway, hey guys.
Dude, whatever, man. I don't care.
Let's bring love back to this program. Okay?
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea.
Actually, that is the mother who turned around in the chair in Psycho. In Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
you don't take it personally.
Wasn't supposed to be your mother.
Well, I mean, never mind.
Never mind.
I mean, whatever. Jesus Christ, what the man?
Okay.
So bizarre.
Yeah, lot of love. Hugs and kisses.
There you go. She's gone.
Okay.
You can leave it up. I don't care.
You just said you did care. You said, why is it up there for 2 years?
Well, I don't know what's more hideous, her or the wallpaper.
Well, the wallpaper.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. We all have that wallpaper here.
Yeah.
I do, but it's a bad thing.
Yep. I'd rather have you look at all the junk in my office.
I know we're trying to do.
Bill sent it to all of us. It was cute for a while.
So we're doing spring cleaning, and the kids are cleaning out their closets, And Tiffany wanted this bed just in case somebody stays over. She wanted this bed in this office so bad. So we finally get it, and now there's just clothes and shit all over.
What happened? What's happened there? It kind of looks like. It kind of looks
I
like
had my DJ set up and everything, a nice little office, and then they go, I want a bed in there. I want a bed in there in case somebody wants to stay the night. And nobody stayed the night at this house.
You're gonna get gray hair worrying about all this, Brian.
I got it.
Well, it kind of looks like you're on Hoarders. You know, with all that stuff.
Got a lot of clothes on the bed.
Anyway, getting back to the whole Trump deal, you know, it's just amazing to me that the insanity of this whole thing. I mean, to begin with, it's, you know, Trump said today, "This is really a sad day in America," and it is. Thank you very much, Donald, for doing what you did and making it a sad day for America. You know, none of this would happen without your cooperation, okay?
I think what he meant was it's a sad day because he's involved in it.
Well, I know that's what he meant, but the fact is, this is a very sad day. It's a sad day that any human being with the American public and trust with the job of being president of the United States would do what he is accused of doing.
Absolutely.
And it's terrible. It's just terrible that it had to come to this. But not only once, not only twice, but 3 times.
It's looking bad.
And I'll tell you, we forget there was even one more case. There was the E. Jean Carroll thing in New York, which he lost.
Yeah.
You know, and he's being sued again by E. Jean Carroll because he then went on his social media posts and so on and started putting her down again and calling her that creepy woman or whatever.
Yep.
I mean, he's never going to learn. He thinks he can do anything he wants to do with impunity.
I wish they would have taken him into custody.
Huh?
Well, that's
any of us had done what he did.
If any of us had done whatever he did,
any one of his charges, we would be in custody until the trial.
I think they have. I don't know the process, but wouldn't they have handcuffed us and taken us off to a jail cell until
they actually arrested him in court. They did it the last time too. They said you've been arrested, and then the judge released him on his own recognizance. No.
But what I'm saying is, don't they usually, let's say you got to pay bail, okay? Don't they then haul you off to a jail cell until the bail comes through?
Nah,
I think so. I think so.
Take a check.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, come on, he's being treated with kid gloves in comparison to how you or I would be treated in this situation.
Absolutely. And I think it's wrong. Next time he opens his mouth about Hunter Biden getting preferential treatment, you need to look in the mirror, Donald.
Well, let's just say for a moment Hunter Biden got preferential treatment.
Okay.
So is Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's going to go to jail, I think, actually.
And let's be honest about this. The difference between what Donald Trump is accused of doing and what Hunter Biden is accused of doing are way different from each other. One happens to be a crime of sedition, okay?
Yep.
And Hunter Biden's crime was he didn't pay his taxes.
Millions of Americans don't pay their taxes.
Yeah, and they get away with it better than Hunter Biden.
Right.
And he exercised his Second Amendment right.
Who?
Hunter Biden. He bought a gun
Oh.
when he was a drug addict.
Oh yeah, they busted him on that too, didn't they?
Yeah, but they're going to waive that in the plea deal.
Well, if you're a drug addict, you're not supposed to go out and buy a gun.
Okay? Not in that state.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, no, but you're not supposed to buy a gun. However, if you are a drug addict, how do you know you are a drug addict? You know, I mean, it's a kind of a silly law.
Yeah, it is.
You know. In fact, I would, it depends what drug you're on. If it's heroin, I think if you had a gun, you'd be too tired to pull the trigger. You know, you'd be too loopy to be able to aim it at anything.
You'd be nodding out in the corner.
If you fall asleep.
Yeah.
But are they gonna let cameras in?
No,
I hope so.
No, it's a federal case. They don't.
No. Federal cases, they don't allow cameras in.
Now, on the other hand, when Georgia happens, which I think is next on that's next month.
Yeah, Georgia's next. That's
Oh yeah, they're
it's
going to go after him.
This month, when Georgia comes through, that is a state charge, and in that case, I think maybe they do allow, cameras.
And she has said he's gonna have to post bail in Georgia.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, but how much? What's the maximum for whatever his charges are? I don't know, $25,000-$50,000.
Well, trying to bribe a public official or whatever.
100,000. I don't know. Georgia's kind of.
I heard they were going to charge him with racketeering.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to bribe that guy pretty much.
Get him on the RICO Act.
It sort of is racketeering, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you may actually see him actually go to jail. I think you're going to get your wish.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if that's the case, and I'll tell you why. John Redshaw. John Redshaw.
Oh, I think he's legitimate. He posts on your page, Alex.
I know he does. Let me see, but let me make sure.
Let
me make sure here. Let me put my camera on here. And there's John Redshaw.
We're gonna skip.
John, hold on a second. John, are you there? John, are you there? Okay.
Oh, I like the thing you put up, Brett.
Yeah.
John, if you're gonna come on,
yeah.
All right, John.
Oh, hold on a second.
Good for you, John.
Let me see here.
You think you'll get demonetized for that?
Let's see here.
Tell me when it's safe.
Remove.
Tell me when it's safe.
Okay, remove.
I think I'm a colonoscopy. Not the
hell,
man. I only wonder what I said.
Okay, get back to our normal Zoom people.
Yeah, the bad thing is I had my speaker up really loud. Luckily nobody's in the hallway over here.
Well, what was that? Was that guy making those sounds?
Was there porn going on?
There was something.
Yes.
Yeah, well, again, once again, it's gay porn.
Yeah.
What I said before you let him on, I said make sure it's straight porn.
Yeah. I mean, if it were straight porn, I think we probably would have sat here and watched it for a while.
Absolutely, why not?
Yeah, so they're going off of the YouTube and grabbing names.
Let me see here.
After Tony giving me shit, and after that, I'm gonna have to call my shrink.
I can see him in the chat room.
Redshaw is saying, no, it's not me. No,
yeah, he's
it's
trying to warn you.
No, holy crap is the last thing Redshaw put up.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Yeah.
Would that be considered gay porn if he's by himself, though?
I don't think so.
Well, no, but it would appeal. Would it not appeal to a gay person?
I don't know, so don't tell me what was going on.
Oh, well, it was this guy with this candle, and it was lit.
And he kept dripping it on his nipples.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
On his resume.
It was just a guy He was just a guy taking a nap in his car.
Exactly.
That's right. And he strained his back, and he's going, oh.
Francois is funny. He's like, no, it's not me. No, it's not me. No, holy crap. That's good.
I got this pretty well solved, though. Whenever I see a suspicious person coming on, I immediately go to my video of me, and so that never gets on. We just got the audio.
No, we got the
that
video
was no big deal.
too.
What?
We got the video too, and I was wondering why it was taking so long to kill the video.
Oh, you got the video.
Yeah, we got the video.
See, what I did is when I went to it for the
my
air, I put my camera on.
I thought it was going to disappear, so I didn't look away, and it never disappeared.
Same.
Well, it took me a while to
Position
get
number 35, Ray, if you look it up again.
Okay.
So if they say if you ever seen gay porn, you can't say no, because everyone on the panel is saying gay porn.
Jesus.
I
don't know why they do gay porn. Why can't they do straight porn?
How about something different?
We might watch it for a few minutes.
It's not shocking enough.
Yeah.
But that was solo or mono. I don't know. It would attract.
Let's talk about Trump.
Yeah, let's go back to Trump.
Wait a minute. Now here is Don Giller. Let's make sure this is Don Giller. I think it probably is. I would imagine. Let me see here. Is this Don Giller or is this Hello. There it is.
Oh.
It is
Oh, no,
Don
it's Borg.
Giller. Yes, it is Don Giller.
He has his clothes on.
Yeah. Don, we wanted to make sure
No!
it was really you.
Now here is Don Giller. Let's make sure this is Don.
You have to turn us off, Don.
Arf, arf.
No, turn the audio off.
Turn your radio down.
Hello. There it is. It is.
See, your browser.
We're hearing both of you.
Your browser is on.
We wanted to make sure. It was really you.
Yeah, no, I'm
Don Giller. Let's make
Kill the browser.
Kill the browser.
Close your browser, Don.
Okay, yeah, hold on. I'm sorry.
Or turn down your volume, either one.
What am I doing?
Part
here?
of the problem with trying to tell somebody to turn down their browser
We're hearing both
is
of you.
because they don't know that that's what they're hearing. You know.
How could you not know that that's what you're
got
hearing?
No, but that happens. No, that can happen sometimes.
I think he's good now.
Yeah, I think you're good now, Don.
Oh, there you are. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So did you want my praise in person?
I wanted to thank you. It was very kind.
No,
Well,
like I
very
said,
kind.
it was really cool to see Pee Wee at the very beginning, where he was really, really sort of, not as big as he was even before his movie, and then he was talking about his movie the next time, and then the next time you see him going really, really crazy. So it was cool to see the progression.
Well, you know what happens, I think, when you see something like that, is that when he first appeared on, he probably didn't have a TV show or the movie.
Yeah, he just barely had the TV show on, but no movie. He was talking about I want.
And so you're not going on with the confidence of everybody knows what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? By the time the movie came out or the TV show was a big hit and he came on, then he says to himself, well, I got to give them what they want, what they expect. And so that's why people are more sure of themselves the second or third time on that show. Wouldn't you agree with that, Don?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Don Gelman, by the way.
Yeah, Dan Gelmer.
Yeah, Danny.
Which there are two versions I put up. The second version has a suffix that says recut. The first version, I put up the first version, and then the copyright owners of Fever, no, I can't remember her name. The big hit, Fever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Peggy Lee.
Peggy Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. They blocked it.
Really?
So I put up the second version, this recut version, without that. And then at some point that block on the original version was rescinded. So both
okay.
versions are now up.
But that was a problem. That was probably a problem because you had music,
YouTube.
right?
I just looked and it's not on your channel. Neither one of them.
It's on YouTube.
I googled Pee Wee Herman interviews, and it's pops up.
Under Don Giller account.
Well,
I just put it.
search Pee Wee Herman Letterman.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if that works.
I just googled it. It looked like it was on YouTube.
How do you?
Yeah,
let me ask you
Oh, it
this,
must be.
Don, because as someone who posts on YouTube,
Here we go.
obviously, I need a little advice. How do you all of a sudden? Let's say Pee Wee Herman dies. All right, all of a sudden Don Geller's Pee Wee Herman video of him on Letterman
Oh, I see.
suddenly shows up.
Well,
How do you do that and make it suddenly come to the front?
I put it up in 2019.
It's 3 years ago.
But I mean, is it YouTube that says, oh well, we better start featuring this one, or what?
It's completely out of my control. I have no idea.
Really? Because that's strange. Because a lot of times, when somebody dies, all of a sudden there's Don Giller's.
Maybe there's like an algorithm.
Yeah, might be algorithms and people searching. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be. Yes.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell Alex a couple things.
Yeah.
One, I'm still hired. There's been no bad blood. There's.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, well, I'm still there. I mean, I'm not doing anything, but they still. I'm a consultant. They have me on retainer. That's essentially.
I see. Okay. In other words, that means we don't have to give you any health insurance.
I'll take it. And the second thing, last night when you were talking about perfect pitch, and I emailed you, and you
he sent me an essay,
well, no.
an essay about what perfect pitch is, and so I now rescind my statement about that I have perfect pitch.
Yeah, but
I can sing in tune.
Yeah, I don't know if you have perfect pitch or not, and I hope I didn't want to convey that claim. Only that the criteria that you used didn't apply. That's all.
Oh, okay.
That's all I want to
say. But I mean, if somebody takes a key on the piano and plays a note, I can just sing it back to you, you know.
But perfect pitch would say, okay, I want you to sing a D sharp.
Exactly. Well, that is what he said, and so I take it back. I don't have perfect pitch.
Where's the mic here?
Hardly anybody has perfect pitch.
Yeah,
it's very rare.
You can't hear it, but pretend that you can. What's the pitch?
C sharp.
Close. No, these are always in A.
An 440. A? Are they A? Yeah, 440. A440. Yeah. Right.
So
right.
This is the way of cheating.
Why didn't I know that? My father used to have tuning fork at home, several tuning forks.
Wow.
And how he would tune his violin is he would hit the thing, and then he would place the end of the tuning fork on the violin itself, and then
it resonates.
Yeah, and he would use that to tune the violin. So he had quite a few of these around the house, one upstairs, one downstairs, wherever he would pick up a violin, there would be a tuning fork there. So I grew up with tuning forks, okay?
You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
I know that.
I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah,
yeah, joke.
But, he wrote me this essay last night. I mean, literally. And I'm so appreciative of it, I had to write him back and thank him for it.
You blocked me.
Huh?
You blocked me.
No, I didn't block you.
But all you have to do is say you can sing. If someone tells you to sing a note, you can sing that note.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, but it is that. For instance,
well, that's what Alex can do. If you sing a note, he'll be able to sing.
If you say, "I want you to sing an E flat," and you sing an E flat, and then you press the E flat on the piano, and it's exactly the same.
That's perfect pitch.
That's perfect pitch. But I may have perfect pitch, but I'll never know because I was too lazy to listen to every note and figure out, listen to what they were.
Okay. I'm going to hit this. Tell me what it is.
Can't hear it.
It's A something.
A.
There you go.
Wait a minute.
You have perfect pitch.
No, here's how you do it. You hit the thing, and then you put it on your microphone.
Where is the mic?
Is the mic in your monitor?
I don't know.
See if
you can't hear that.
Yeah.
I don't know where the mic is on this laptop.
Yeah. I'm getting a new mic, by the way.
Yeah. And I'll stop this. It's silliness.
Yeah.
What mic are you gonna get?
No, it's just a Elgato, but I'm getting a new stand too that I'll click in on my table here, and then it will just come out here, and I can move it out of the way when I'm not using it. So
now Phil's gonna have to buy one.
Yeah,
bigger.
Well,
bigger
no, Phil has his like $500 microphone, which nobody needs.
Nope.
Don't need it. No, not for talking.
No way.
In fact, you need something a lot less rich.
Yeah.
But he does like it because he's louder than everybody else, and that's important. So have you talked to our boy Alan?
I talked to him earlier today.
Yeah.
One of your regular listeners who doesn't get on the show is a friend of ours, and he came and hung my first flat screen TV in my bedroom today.
But you've never had a flat screen TV?
No, it's sad. The monitor I'm looking into now is flat, but I've never had a flat screen TV.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Then the TV set you must be 10 years old.
At least
20. You want it? I'll send it to you.
Yeah, sure.
I had a 20-year-old flat screen TV I just got rid of.
Don't send it collect, by the way, because I'm not picking up the freight on that.
Yeah, no shit.
How big was it?
I have a 20-inch Panasonic. Still work good, but the trouble is, I can't watch Netflix. And if I don't want to get out of bed, I can't watch the Alex Bennett show like I'm on right now.
Yeah, so you got yourself a flat screen. And how big is that one?
50 inches, 55 inches.
55,
like
yeah, that 55 is fine. That's what I have in the guest room here. But I was thinking of, see, I would change the one I have in the bedroom to make Marjorie happy. I'd go out and get like an 85-inch. All right. The only problem is the one we have in the bedroom is 3D, and they don't make them anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have to wear glasses to watch it?
Yeah, but they're as opposed to the flicker glasses that were the ones that they were called active glasses that would flicker. This is you just take any of the glasses you get in a movie theater and put them on, and it's fine. It looks great. You know, it looks terrific. But they stopped making them. One day they don't. Oh well, we're not going to make them anymore. Well,
can you watch it without the 3D glasses?
What do you mean, watch TV set? Yeah. Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
Okay.
I have to turn on the 3D in order for it to work. But the thing was that to put 3D in these TV sets didn't cost them a fortune. You know, it was very cheap, especially with the active glasses. It just flutters between two different signals and synchronize them with the glasses that were electronic. The other ones you had to have a certain polarization on the screen or something, but it didn't cost them that much to make it either. But they just stopped making them. You can't buy a 3D TV set anymore. The only thing you can get is 3D. Well, the only
went
thing
the way of the laser disc.
They
went the way of the laser disc. I think they showed up.
I have one of those too. Anybody wants one of those?
But I've enjoyed. I really enjoy watching some of the 3D films at home. The passive version that I have, that LG did, was as good as you could get. And they didn't have to stop making them, but they did. And the only way you can get 3D TV anymore is if you go out and get a projector, a video projector. Most of them still have the ability to do 3D.
Like the ones you hang from your ceiling?
No, I mean, it's a screen.
Okay.
As opposed to a flat, a LED screen or whatever. But it's so because when I was a kid, I loved 3D. I went to every 3D movie there was. I was a 3D geek.
Did you have one of those 3D projectors that you would click because there were two images?
Oh, you're talking about a ViewMaster
that you would then rotate.
I still have one in the garage.
Yeah, ViewMaster. Do they still make them today? I don't know if they do anymore.
I don't think so.
And then there was one that was really good called a True View, that you actually got a reel of film and you threaded it through it, and you could go from 2 frames to 2 frames to 2 frames, and it took about 36 frames on a roll, and you got some great 3D.
Yeah.
But I was a big 3D freak when I was a kid. I learned how to draw in 3D by taking a green pencil and a red pencil, and then then with the rubber band, sharpening them up, and with the rubber band, putting the 2 pencils together
at an angle.
And then so they came out this way. And then as I would draw, if I wanted to come out, I would just change the width of the 2 pencils, and I was able to draw in 3D.
Yeah, they have Amazon's got tons of these ViewMasters with the little round thing.
Yeah. They're
mainly meant for kids now.
Oh yeah.
But after you drew the image with the 2 colors, did you need to wear glasses?
Well, then you need to wear the anaglyph glasses, which were green and red.
Right.
But I could literally draw a straight line that came right out of the page and went into the page. Yeah. I thought that up myself. Well, that's what a big freak I was for 3D. So now
I had that.
Huh? What?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I had cataract surgery in 2019, and after what happens is after both eyes are done, but like 6 weeks apart, and when you come home and you take the bandage off, one eye is looking this way and the other eye is looking that way, and it takes a while for them to get back in sync.
Yeah.
After the second eye, they were getting back in sync, but they were just slightly off, so that I could look at an iPhone and it would be in 3D.
Really?
My wife is going through that right now. She just had one eye done last week, and she's getting the other eye done on Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
And she's going through all that, and then she's actually having a lens put in her eyeball.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to wear contacts now.
Right.
Well,
So they're actually putting permanent lenses put in there.
it's not a corneal lens. It's like a permanent lens.
It's a permanent lens that goes into the
It's
eyeball.
not a corneal lens, because that's what they're doing with the.
I have no idea.
Well,
what
the
it is. All I
operation.
know is that they put a freaking lens in her eyeball, and
Wait,
so now she doesn't have to wear, contacts.
Oh,
and she's got super bad eyes. I mean, like
In
13
theory.
diopters.
I had both my eyes.
In theory,
done.
she doesn't have to wear contacts. After her eyes settle down, she may need reading glasses or something.
Yeah.
She might need,
Yeah.
she might need, but they're not 13 diopters.
Well, I had both I had both my eyes
Like
done.
She's
Coke
basically,
bottle.
I had
exactly.
both my eyes
Ooh.
done, and they put what they do is they take out the cornea and they put in a new lens. I think that's what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah.
And they do it 1 week, and then 2 weeks later they do it again.
Yep.
And I did them
then
about a year apart because the other eye didn't get ripe. They say we have to wait till it gets ripe. You know?
Yeah, and then sometime in December she's getting PRK to fine tune it or something.
Yeah.
And she'll be taking around 3,000 eye drops.
Oh yeah, she's been doing gallons of that stuff.
Well, you have to for the first week or so. You have to use the drops.
Yeah, she's been doing 4 every 3 hours or something.
Usually antibiotic drops and steroid drops that keep.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
And then she has some glaucoma ones to take pressure off. The other day they poked her eyeball. And shit came out of the eyeball too.
Bubbles is having that operation in about a week, and he's all upset about it. So I said, "Don't." I said, "It's the easiest thing in the world."
It's crazy how easy it is.
Yeah,
but understand that of course I was incredibly apprehensive before the first one, because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Mhm.
And after the first one, when you realize that it's painless, and it's a miracle that this is the first time in my life that I have 20/20 vision. I've never had
That's
it.
the thing.
Yeah.
She's been like this since she was 6 years old.
Right.
So and now she can walk around like this. It's like I told her when she was talking about doing it, I said, "You deserve this shit. Do it."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So after Bubbles' first surgery, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I told him.
I was scared
I
because
told him,
they're messing with eyeballs.
Well,
It's crazy.
what are they doing? They're going in there and they're cutting out a cornea out of your eyeball.
Flaps.
Yeah, and you think about, well, gee, that's got to hurt. No, they put in numbing stuff in your eye. You don't feel a damn thing. The only thing
Yeah,
is,
they did that in the doctor's office the other day. She said, "Oh, you've got a lot of pressure in your eyeball. We're going to pierce it." I'm going, "What the hell are you going to do?" And she went in there, numbed the eyeball, and then Tina didn't see it, but I saw it, and they took this pin and they went in right in there and poked it, and out come all the crap and relieved the pressure.
Wow.
Because she was getting she was at 22. The pressure was 22, and they had to relieve the
Just
pressure.
quickly, I did this once as a trick when I learned this trick. Actually, I learned this from Penn Jillette. It's a little thing you can do if you're out at a restaurant and they've got some little cups of creamer just take a cup of creamer and just palm it in your hand like this and say, "Look what I can do." And then you take a fork or a knife and you just poke the creamer, and it comes spurting out, and people think you just punctured your eye.
Look, I'm a zit.
Making friends wherever you
your eye has fluid in it.
And I don't know why everybody thinks that whatever the juice is that will come out of your eye is white. I don't.
No, it's clear.
Anyway, I'm playing the
John
theme.
Belushi.
I'm playing the theme. You know, we started out with hardly anybody, and now we're here with a lot of everybody's. And it
Sucks for you. You couldn't go home.
I couldn't go home, and it's a really nice show. Thank you so much, Brian, for being here, and once again, thanks for the T-shirt. I don't want you to think I didn't appreciate it, and thank you so much to Alan, and to Kevin, and to Tony, and to his best friend Ray, and to Don Giller as well. Everybody, why don't you give a big wave goodbye, and I will give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go, folks. There they go. All right. That's our citizen panel for tonight. We'll have another citizen panel again tomorrow night. There'll be another one right now over at the intersection with Jack Bishop, which follows immediately after this program. See you again tomorrow night. Yes, right here in Broadcasting Central at GabNet. We'll see you tomorrow at, let's see here, 10:30. Okay, meet right back here at 10:30. Okay, and in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.